Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
The Saints taking the victory formation, 23-13, and that will do it as the Buccaneer fans head for the exits. Saints will go to 8-8. With one game remaining, the Buccaneers will fall to 8-8 with one game remaining.
You know, when we face some adversity, I think our guys have generally responded. So, you know, we knew our backs were against the wall, and we knew that if we didn't take care of business today, then it didn't matter what happened, you know, anywhere else. We knew that we had to win this game, and I think our guys had the mindset that we were coming in here to win, and that's what they did.
Saints play-by-play voice Mike Hoss on the call. That the voice of Saints head coach Dennis Allen as the Saints beat the Bucs 23-13, and quite honestly, it wasn't as close as the final score would suggest. This Saints team, is most likely not going to the playoffs. Let's just call it what it is. You got to beat Atlanta at home. You got to hope Carolina beats Tampa. If that happens, you win the division. If that doesn't happen, then you need both Green Bay and Seattle to lose in order to get a playoff spot. So most likely, this team is not going to the playoffs. But God, it was nice to see them put Tampa Bay in a 3-hour chokehold on Sunday. Was it not? Maybe part of that game would lead you to wonder, where has this been? Why can't they do this consistently? Because when they do play at their highest level, the Saints look like a playoff team. They look like a vaunted team that would be tough to handle. And that's what it looked like on Sunday. But it hasn't looked like that consistently enough. But when they found that, you know, when they've twisted the Rubik's Cube enough, and it looks like that, they look pretty good. They just haven't been able to look good enough times this year to put them on a path where they look like a playoff team. But the thing about this team or any team is, when criticism is warranted, I'm going to give it. And when a team deserves praise, you give them their due. And the Saints deserve praise for Sunday. They were on the road. They were in a must-win situation. And I hate how people overuse must-win. Too often we say must-win when it's not a literal must-win. This was a must-win. If the Saints didn't beat Tampa on Sunday, they're not going to the playoffs. You were eliminated. You had to win to keep your playoff hopes alive. It was a must-win. You were on the road against a team who was at home, who had beaten you earlier this season, who was looking to clinch the division on their home field, and you outplayed them quite literally from the opening snap of the game. The Saints took the opening drive and went 14 plays, 73 yards, 7:56 off the clock. That was, by the way, the first time all season the New Orleans Saints have scored on their opening possession. It took till week 17, your 16th game of the season, for the Saints to score a touchdown on its opening drive, but man, was that a thing of beauty. You converted third downs, you marched right down the field, put it in the end zone, and the Saints led 7-0, and they just didn't relent. This was a day where everything worked. Man, everything worked for your team. I mentioned the opening drive. Think about in the first half, Tampa's got a third down deep in their own territory. Brian Brzee gets the sack, and unfortunately, his hand grabs Baker Mayfield's face mask. Later on that drive, it's 3rd and 15. Looks like you're getting off the field. There's an illegal contact penalty. Extends the drive. But how did that drive end? Alontae Taylor comes away with his first career interception. Beautiful play down near the goal line. And when you're down near the goal line, Juwan Johnson made that leaping, tumbling catch over the middle, which got you out of the shadow of your own goalpost and allowed you to flip the field. The Jonathan Abrams strip on the fumble on the sideline. Jonathan Abrams' interception was aided by Tano Passanio barely getting his fingertip on the football to misdirect it enough that Abram could get the interception. when it looked like Tampa late in the game might be trying to rally, they hit a deep ball to Trey Palmer, and without getting hit, Trey Palmer fumbles. Like, things went your way. You had a 3rd and 8, and you ran a fullback draw and converted. I mean, everyone in the world is thinking that on 3rd and 8 with the fullback in, he's just there to block. Nope, let's hand it to Adam Prentice. Whoop, first down. Beautiful game called by Pete Carmichael, executed by the players, and the Saints look great. I mean, the short punt at the end of the first half by Tampa, Camarda had like the 17-yard punt, whatever it was. You got the ball in a short field, and you end up converting. Blake Grupe was perfect on the day. Like, hat tip. A lot of guys who have struggled this season played their best games, and the Saints went on, and they beat Tampa 23-13. Hey, look, there is an undeniable truth. This is inarguable. Since Dennis Allen has been back in New Orleans, his defenses have dominated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The lone exception is the game that was in the Dome earlier this year. Derek Carr was coming off the injury at Green Bay, didn't practice all week, then played that week against Tampa, and you got punked in your own building, and it was never really close. Baker Mayfield looked like an all-pro that day. But with that one exception, when you lost 26-9, with that one exception, Dennis Allen's defenses have been the voodoo doll. They have been the kryptonite. They have been the boogeyman for the Tampa Bay offense. And it was so again on Sunday. They're down in Tampa. I know that the future is what a lot of people are concerning themselves with right now, and you're not wrong to do that. We're fans. We're fans, and we're media, and we talk hypotheticals and all that. Yeah, you're not wrong to worry about the future. The team and the coaches in the front office, they're not thinking about that right now. They're trying to think about, all right, how do we go beat Atlanta and then hope everything falls in your way. So I know that there's going to be the sentiment that, look, winning this game hurts your draft position. For whatever it's worth, Tankathon, which charts, it's a website, it charts draft order and all that sort of stuff. If you looked at it right now, the Saints draft order, right as of today in the NFL, the Saints would be picking 13th. So you're just inside of the top half of round one. And I get it. Like, if you're not going to make the playoffs, there's a sentiment to say, I'll just lose and get a better draft position. You're not wrong. Like, I don't disagree with you on that. But I want my team to make the playoffs. I mean, I know not everybody shares this opinion, but I'm not going to cheer against my team. You're going into Week 18. You can beat your rival. You need some help, but it can happen. Like, I don't know if you watched the NFL this past weekend, but Arizona went to Philadelphia and beat the Philadelphia Eagles on their home field while the Eagles were still trying to play for the division championship, which would mean a home game. And oh, by the way, the 1 seed at that time was mathematically still in play. That's gone now for Philly. San Francisco clinched the 1. It looks like Dallas is going to win that division because Philly couldn't beat the Cardinals on their home field. The Atlanta Falcons, very much in the playoff mix going into this past Sunday. They went up to Chicago and couldn't stop Justin Fields. The Bears could have completely tanked. Could have. Didn't. It would have been better for the Bears to lose that game to help their draft stock. They went and played hard and won a game. So, mathematically, the Saints are still very much alive. Do I think Carolina is gonna beat Tampa on Sunday? No, I do not. But it's the NFL, and the any given Sunday adage exists for a reason because it matters. You can still win the division. Beat Atlanta. Hope Carolina gets a win over Tampa. If that happens, you're in the playoffs. If Tampa wins, you need Green Bay and Seattle to lose. That happens, you're in the playoffs. So go win a game on Sunday. Do a little scoreboard watching, and hope your team gets in the playoffs and gets to play another week. It's the NFL. I would always rather my team get in the playoffs than just hope for a better draft pick. You can get in. See if you can. And by the way, whether this team makes the playoffs or not should have no bearing on Dennis Allen's future. I know that's the big question. And the splash report Sunday morning from ESPN was that it looks like Dennis Allen's going to be back and Pete Carmichael's going to be gone. That's likely what's going to happen at this point. But even if you make the playoffs in a bad division against arguably the easiest schedule the Saints have ever seen in their history, when you're out here playing Tommy Cutlets late in the season from the Giants, I mean, everything fell your way with this schedule, and you're still just flirting with 500. Like, I'm not excusing Dennis Allen or this franchise or anything where they are, but you're going into Week 18, and you have something still to play for. It's a much better spot than most teams in the NFL as of today. So go out there, see if you can beat Atlanta. Let the chips fall where they may. Worry about the offseason when you get there. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.